How's it going?
Not bad. How's your day going?
It's starting off so far so good, so I'll take it.
Ah. Okay, guys, welcome to the commentary zone. Today we are talking about Basketball Wives season 9, episode 6. Trash.
This
I'm just gonna
trash.
give it a name. Trash.
Like, what were your overall impressions?
Overall impressions?
Hmm.
What in the holy bullshit was this? This was a waste of a season.
Hmm.
And like I said to you right before we got on, what they should have done was have OG sit down with Shawnee at a table and discuss it for the 6 episodes that we've seen
Hmm.
and do different segments of that conversation. That would have made a better season than this heaping sack of shit that we were served. Um, I don't, this doesn't help the issue. An accusation was made and it should have been addressed and hopefully led to some sort of resolution. But instead, we saw dueling diva houses and people cooking and walking around with bad attitudes and nothing was accomplished other than getting on my fucking nerves. I don't understand why we wait. I told you we shouldn't have done this show. Oh,
I mean,
so aggravated with this.
It's just weird. So I really wasn't on. I really wasn't on one side or the other because I wanted to see all the conversations and all the evidence, and then make an assessment. But I got nothing. I got absolutely zero because I can see both sides, and then for me, when people are willing to have a conversation with you, just have the conversation. Because Shawnee said she was open to the conversation,
She lied.
which she would no, I think she was,
No, she
but
lied.
she wasn't going to go into it if OG was going to have a negative attitude. And I understand that because when I've had to sit down with people and I tell them like, look, either we're going to sit down and hash this out, but if you're not open or I feel you're not open, I'm going to leave because there's no point because you've already gone into this with your mind made up. So I don't blame Shawnee on that. And then based on what we've seen from OG, there's the whole time I wouldn't go over there either. But I'm not
But
going to discount her. I'm not going to discount how she feels.
I'm not discounting how she feels. No, I'm not doing that. But what I'm saying is, I think the whole issue with staycation and dueling houses, like, how was that supposed to foster anyone coming together to talk about anything? All they did was sit in their respective houses and stew and get angrier and kind of almost muddy the waters of what each other's arguments were. That's why I said like they could have gotten together even if they didn't want to film it. Honestly, an accusation was made. And if it was made against me as the executive producer of this show or to one of my castmates, because not only is she executive producer but she also stars on the show, which I'm beginning to really dislike that. You either in front or behind the camera, you know?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I would agree with you, but we can't
Well, at least
say
she
that
needs to develop
she
her skills if she's going to be on both
right.
sides.
I was gonna say because she doesn't have the breath to do both sides, and it's the
Mhm.
parent. Anytime you get on camera as an employer, EP, whatever you want to call it, and blatantly admit that you've favored your friend, are you serious? At any other job, you would either
Mhm.
have a write up or be fired
Mhm. Mhm.
because
I
you
agree
can't do
with
that.
that. I
You
agree
can't do
with that.
that. Like if you see Whitney on Southern Charm, from him everybody gets the business. You see Lisa Vanderpump, everybody gets the business. No favorites. You all catching it.
But also, if there is, as you say, an employee, one of your cast who's saying that she's feeling a certain way based on actions that were brought against her towards her, wouldn't you want to sit down and talk to her?
You would, but again, this situation involves your friend who you just told the whole world that you play favorites with.
Yeah, okay, but here we go. This has been festering for a year and change?
You're
Year and
in
a half?
change. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shouldn't you have done that a year ago?
Yeah, you're asking what should have been done. You're correct, but again, you have to go back to say she favors her friend, so she's biased. And when you put your bias into it, you don't feel like you need to have that conversation because you've already made up in your mind that my friend is not a colorist or my friend hasn't done anything wrong. And that's the fundamental problem with this show, particularly this season.
See, and I'm trying to have it like I was trying to look at it from both sides. OG had major attitude and it kept on building and building and building with each episode. And I get we're only getting small snippets out of many hours of film.
Mm-hmm.
But couldn't she have done a little bit better? That's
So
what
OG,
like yeah, and I
yeah,
can see why she's so frustrated because it's been so long, nothing's been done. Like I would be pissy too. But you're back there. And while I was watching it, right? Before the issue with the sisters came up,
mm-hmm.
right? And she said she was contractually obligated to be there for this season. And I'm like, I wonder if she came back and decided, well, if I'm contractually required to be here, I'm just going to have a shitty attitude and I'm just going to just ruin every scene that I'm in and I'm not going to be friends with anybody at all. And that's what she was giving them. And I'm like, girl, if that's what you decided to do, they're just going to take that shitty footage with your shitty attitude and make you look like the dumb dumb and like it's all your fault because look, you can't get along with anybody.
That's the way I took it. I'm on the same wavelength as you. I putting it all together. I'm like, this is what OG did. She's like, you know what? If I have to be here, everybody gonna suffer. I'm gonna
Yes.
make everybody around me miserable. And to me, that's what she did. It's exactly what she did. But
Wow.
she, what she did was by having that attitude, you kind of just stripped away your whole argument. To me,
Mm-hmm.
your whole argument because Kristen and Malaysia came over there to talk to you, and they were open. And Malaysia was like, "Just tell me what I did to you." And OG could never say anything. And that's another problem I have. You can't accuse people of doing things and not give examples, especially with allegations like these.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Now,
She never mentioned Malaysia. Um, she mentioned what Phoebe. I think
uh,
she mentioned Phoebe. She mentioned something Phoebe. I said okay, fine, whatever. Who else did she mention? I think she might mention Evelyn or something, but that's neither here nor there for me. But you're saying the whole group, but you're not coming out with specific instances for each person in the group. And then for you to say everybody, and then you include Jackie and Jennifer, and they're like, what are you talking about?
and then she
I
includes
didn't like that either.
herself. And that's why I wanted to ask you because I haven't been watching previous seasons. What was the original allegation? Was it directed toward a certain person or was it the whole group inclusive of herself?
It was everyone. Well, it was mainly directed to me towards for me, Shawnee and Evelyn.
Okay.
But then for some reason turned into the whole group, and I think it's because she felt like no one stuck up for her. Because it wasn't a group thing at the beginning. It was more an Evelyn and Shawnee thing.
I'm so confused with this. I'm so confused. And then it didn't help her. Um, when that little tidbit with the sisters and her trying to get information on Phoebe for the last reunion came out,
And then she
it just
denied it.
looks bad. But here's my thing. If you have spoken already and a year and a half later you come into the house, why would you pretend that you didn't know this person?
You talking about OG to the sisters, or
Yeah.
right? You know, they make no mention of that she knew them, and it was funny because they were like, okay, sorry, we just gonna come here and be cool. We're not gonna mention nothing, not gonna throw her in the bus, nothing. Which I thought was really really cool of them not to do that, because they could have just came up and
Mhm.
blown up her whole spot, but they're trying to
Mhm.
be compassionate towards her. But then she wouldn't have an attitude with them, and it was weird. I'm like, how are you having an attitude with people you just met? Like
Yeah.
familiar attitude, like I don't like you.
Mhm.
I'm like, y'all just met. This is crazy. But then come to find out, she contacted them. Oh, okay, interesting. And oh, gee, I'm sorry, boo boo cakes. Calm it down. Like no one's really that scared of you. Because she was really trying to be a bully and intimidate them, and they weren't having it.
Yeah.
Because your OG was coming at them crazy, and then she got mad when she received the same energy. I'm like, no, your tone is wrong first. Your tone is out of order, so you get what you get.
This just confused me no end. I can't believe that there's one more episode of this. Honestly, I see no reason for this show to come back. And as much as I enjoy watching Christie and all her shenanigans, I feel I wonder if producers manipulated her to go back to the house because she went over to Evelyn's house, got her instructions, obviously, although they didn't film it. This is just my opinion. Got her instructions, went back to her house to sit down with OG and ask her, maybe you didn't feel colorism, can't you just compromise that maybe it wasn't that? Maybe it was this. Like, I didn't feel comfortable with that. That seemed like
No,
low key manipulation to
I
me.
didn't like that. Mm-mm. No, Jackie was wrong for that period. There's nothing. I mean, for me, like you can't. You're at that point. You're trying to say her feelings aren't valid, or she was wrong, or it wasn't that way, which then gives her claims validity
Mhm.
that you are a colorist, that you are against me. Sometimes you guys let your friends fight.
I don't know. I think this show has run its course. I think it was completely ignorant. If I liked anyone at the beginning of this season, I now dislike everyone by the time we've gotten to episode 6. Um, Complete and utter trash.
This is bad. This show cannot come back with this cast. It just can't.
It can't come
And
back with this executive producer either.
that's it.
Sorry.
That's she's got to go.
Sorry.
She's got to
Um,
go. Period.
Maybe she could just be paid as a creator, but not have any input and not
Right.
be on the screen.
Yeah.
Like every step where they could have made a positive step, it seems that they purposely made a negative step and made things worse and
Mm.
worse and worse. And honestly, I feel everybody's going to question if racism and colorism is a real thing if they watch the show.
Right. Agreed.
And that's not fair.
This should have been a season of resolution.
Yes, how to make it better, how to make our community better, how to move forward, how to fight this, you know? I this could have been so positive, but I just feel like Shawnee not even wanting to talk about it is what's
Mm-mm.
killing me because she is the boss.
Hmm.
She's the
I just think
boss.
I just think at this point, the show needs to take a break. Shawnee needs to
Permanently.
be Shawnee needs to get kicked off.
Permanently.
Um, and I don't think the show should be canceled permanently. The reason why,
Yes.
because it's a very good concept. It's a very good concept. You just cannot have people who can't handle themselves professionally in front. She can't handle both roles. If I'm being completely honest, I don't need to see her on my screen.
If
I'm
I'm
just
being
being honest.
completely honest, I would actually like to see an actual wife.
Jackie is a wife,
You can't just have one. The name of the show is
right?
plural. Basketball
Right.
wives.
You gotta find one more.
At least one. Like I don't want to see I want to see a wife that's actually doing something in her community, in her business life, has like even if she has challenges in her marriage, I would like to see that. Not
I
like
agree with
really
you. I
bad
want.
challenges,
Okay, I'll
but
put it this way. I want to see current wives and or girlfriends.
I don't want girlfriends. I don't want baby mamas.
Well, engaged. We'll say engaged. They should at least be engaged. To be fair,
Okay, at least there's a commitment.
there's a commitment, and we get to see the wedding and all the planning. And what the food gonna look like. So, I'm sorry. They be having the best food
You
on
and
these
I
shows
focus on food way too much.
because they have the best. These shows be having the best food, and they're not eating.
Mhm.
So that's the thing. Like they need to be current, like a show with current wives and or current fiancés. But I will say this though. I'm
Mhm.
not sure if it still comes on, but that show Wags was about one of my guilty pleasures.
I never watched that.
I'll put it to you this way: that show is what Basketball Wives should be. It was good. It was
Hmm.
really, really good. I'm like, Wags, okay, wives and girlfriends, what y'all doing? And it was the hour went like that. It was so good. But I don't think anyone was an EP in part of the cast either. So to
Yeah.
me, LA was cool without Shawnee. But since Miami got canceled, you had to do something, so you came over to LA and just jacked that shit up too. And then when you got added, it was flopping, so you had to bring Tammy back to help boost the ratings because everyone loves Tammy. And then you brought Evelyn back because your friend needed a job. I mean, she had just lost her fiance, and her show got canceled. So you trying to throw her a check. I'm like, so you just didn't came and messed up the franchise. Sorry, in my opinion. Tell me if I lied.
No. No, you haven't. I
Wait a minute, Black Lavender had catfish sandwich. That sounds really good.
I pay more attention to eating my sandwich. Oh, you know I've never eaten catfish. I'd
Catfish
love
is
to
awesome.
try it.
Catfish is great.
One of these
Uh,
days, Black Lavender, I'm just gonna roll up, and you better have a good spread on, right on that massive backyard that you have.
it's gonna be pizza. It's gonna be pizza, catfish. I'm there for it.
And platinum. Now that I know what platinum is.
Mm-mm.
I'm just very disappointed. I can tell no lie. I think that this could have been so much more. It could have been positive, but I think that these individuals like to dwell in the cesspool of negativity, and we have enough negative stuff around us. You could have made this positive, and you didn't. Sorry.
Right. But this comes down to I'm not sure if you see it this way, but I really felt this season was all about making Shawnee comfortable, which led us to no resolution.
You know what it was for me?
Mm,
This season was an excuse for her not to engage and address any issues.
mm.
It was an excuse for her to leave and get out. Just like how she said, I'm going home.
Mm.
She was ready like she was just waiting for any excuse to say, I'm going home.
Yeah, you
But
can see
as the
that.
EP, it's your job to stay there. Just like
It's
the
your
captain of
job.
the
It's your
ship.
duty. It's your
Yeah,
duty.
it's just like the captain of the ship. It's your job to stay there. Ah, I
I'm gonna be honest with this episode. There's nothing much more. Um, there's not much more with this franchise as the cast as it stands. So so sorry. I'm so sorry. Is there anything else that you wanted to speak on? Is there anything else we missed? I, all I saw was the
no,
foolishness and then no
no,
resolution.
yeah, it was a waste of our time. 6 whole hours.
Man, we could have been watching Drumline or the Leah movie by Wendy Williams. I mean, we could have found something.
Hmm. Oh, guys, let us know what you think.
Oh, real
Like,
quick,
mm,
totally spaced the top, but they refuse to engage OG. Um, I think it's more that Shawnee and Evelyn refuse to engage OG when they're the ones who need to engage OG. They kept sending emissaries
well, I can see why Evelyn, because there's
litigate.
litigation between them. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I never mentioned Evelyn. And I
Fair.
focused on Shawnee because she's the other part of this and she's also the executive producer. So I wanted her to boss up and address the issue head on. You have an employee that's making accusations about how she feels
Mm-hmm.
based on interactions from some of your other employees. You sit down and address it. Don't come on season 9 and admit that you play favorites with your employees. She disappointed me that she let this drag out for so long. She let it fester.
Mm-hmm.
She let it ferment and then gave us this heaping sack of shit as a season. And if I was every advertiser for this season, I would ask for my money back
Yeah.
because nobody watched.
All that ad space gone to waste.
Yeah. I was not interested in any of these women at any of these houses. Like I said, I would have preferred Shawnee and OG sit down and talk about what was going on. It didn't have to be at a house. It could have been out in a field. It could have been at the beach. It could have been wherever. And just actually talk for 6 episodes. I would have been happy with that because
Yeah,
it would have showed me that you actually wanted to make an effort, whether there was a resolution or not.
exactly. You had six, and like you said, you had 6 filming hours. No, 6 filmed hours so far
Mm-hmm.
to get
Mm-hmm.
this done. So if there's
Mm-hmm.
6 filmed hours, there's like about 5 to 6 more times of footage than this, and y'all just
Mm-hmm.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
So which tells me you came into the season wanting to be comfortable and wanting things to go your own way. And I'm thinking about Shawnee on the
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Yeah.
So resolution is impossible.
Showcase OG in as bad of light as possible to give her the excuse to say, "Oh, I don't have to engage." You see?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm good. I'm so happy there's only one more episode, and I hope y'all don't
Mhm.
come back. If y'all do come back, I just don't want to see most of these people on my screen. I just don't.
You know what this confirms to me? If they do have a franchise for Houston, I really feel like they should let Tammy be the EP on that.
Yeah, they have to because this they can see from this season, quote unquote season. This ship is sailed with Shawnee in control.
Yeah. I think we need to not really start fresh because it's the same old franchise, but I think we need a different perspective running the show.
I think they would have to because in the court of public opinion, It's mostly against Shawnee and for Tammy because the way that Shawnee did Tammy at the reunion. No one's gonna kind of want to work with Shawnee after this, especially after that reunion. What she did to Tammy and what she's done this season, no one's gonna want to work with her. But people will want to
You'd be
work for Tammy.
surprised. You'd be surprised because look at the dregs that she had this season. Sorry,
No, I'm
people
just saying
will.
after this, I don't think so. I really don't. Mm-mm. Not after this. Not when you've been accused of being colorist, which is essentially racist against your own people. And you refuse to address the situation as the EP and as the boss. You admitted to favoritism. No one's gonna want to work for a boss who shows blatant favoritism to an employee, which is why Tammy quit and walked off the reunion.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can't. I just don't see her coming back from this. There's no way. You did
I
this to
bet you
yourself.
she will.
It won't be. It won't. I don't think you'll be in this capacity.
But that's the word in the gutter that Tammy was supposed to be the EP of Houston,
Hmm.
but Shawnee bumped her out of that, and Shawnee is now the EP of Houston.
I don't see that show getting greenlit. I just can't see it happening because Houston is a tricky market because you have the Rockets, you have the Spurs, and you have the Mavericks. Okay, but who's gonna want to work for you? And are you going to just import Kristen, Kristen, Jen, and Malaysia? I mean,
But I don't want to
for
see them either.
but
Because
right,
what exactly do they bring to the show?
I'm still waiting.
Jackie, maybe. Because Jackie's always been a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because
But
I
Jackie's in Northern
remember,
California,
I know she's not going to leave. And
right?
she's the only reason why I like to watch this show. Um, but okay, we right now we import Kristen and Malaysia from Atlanta
And Jennifer.
and Jennifer for to this show in California. What's the point? Why are they relevant? What are they doing? Nothing.
Well, Jen was just sour the whole time. Malaysia was confused and fighting with Jackie, and Kristen was just there. So yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
It's just it's just a waste of everybody's time. I'm sorry. It's just a waste of everyone's time. I'm
Yeah,
done.
they gotta leave Evelyn in the gated community in California.
Unbelievable. But
Evelyn cannot come
yeah.
to Houston.
Well, guys, let us know what you thought if you even watched this episode. Not a lot of people have been watching this season, but leave a comment below in the comment section. We do read them and we do respond. Let us know if we missed something. Like, maybe I was too harsh. I don't know. I haven't been watching previous seasons. I could be missing something. Let us know. Otherwise, give us a thumbs up just because we asked you to. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And most importantly, tell a friend. Have them come and join the conversation. Ay, ay, ay. Jamal, until next time,
Of course.
bye.
Bye.